Hi, everyone. My name is Dorry Bless. You know that already. And by the way, Bless is my real name. It's my given birth name. I didn't change it 19 years ago when I got married. Apparently, all along, it had been pointing me towards this work, to become a celebrant. It just took me a while to make sense of those signs. Of course, while I was on my path, I'm lucky and grateful that Gail Sarma, Pat Sarma, Charlotte Hewlett, and Cindy Reed were on their own path, which brought them to discover Celebrancy, travel to Australia, establish the Institute, develop the curriculum, and bring it to each one of us with mindfulness, dedication, commitment, and grace. I graduated as a celebrant in 2006 with my funeral certificate, and last year in 2007 with my wedding certificate. This year, for the first time, I taught the funeral course to the local Montclair class. I'm certain I learned just as much, probably more, than they did from me. I also serve as the director of the Funeral Celebrant Communications Committee at the Foundation. The committee's working to publicize our message, along with creating awareness about our work to the funeral industry, senior citizens, those that serve in death care and related fields, and of course, to the general public. I'm delighted to be here today and humbled that I've been asked to present in a conference entitled the Wisdom Conference. I say this respectfully because the one thing which age, experience, and being a lifelong seeker has taught me is that each of us is wise, already and always. We can easily spend our entire lifetime in search of the truth, never realizing it's been in our back pocket all along. We're willing to travel great distances to try to attain it. Seldom do we look for it right where it's always been, in our true nature, our inner core. Often I find that I need to remind myself to get out of my own way. When I do, wisdom reveals and expresses itself each and every time, beautifully and simply. Marilyn Vos Savant, a columnist and author, said, "To acquire knowledge, one must study, but to acquire wisdom, one must observe." Education and degrees are necessary and certainly desirable. I know I would not be able to practice as a celebrant without the education and training I received from the Institute. I'm reminded of that time and time again as I prepare for a ceremony and thankfully rely upon the skills I was taught and the tools I was thoughtfully given and instructed to use. I'm very proud of the degree I earned at the Foundation, of my celebrant colleagues, and now all of you, and the certificates you have so deservedly earned and will be awarded tomorrow. In the words of N. Sri Ram, a teacher at the National University of India, wisdom is not knowledge, but lies in the use we make of knowledge. In your celebrant practice, you will be called upon to use your knowledge. You will also be called upon to be wise. These requests will not be obvious or direct. A potential client isn't going to call you up and say, "Oh, excuse me, by the way, are you wise?" They'll ask you how many weddings you've done, or how much you charge, or if you're available to officiate at a scattering ceremony the next day, or if you're lucky, or at least I would consider this lucky, they might ask you if you've ever performed a wedding where a Labrador Retriever was the best man or the best dog. Truthfully, they might not even be aware of or looking for wisdom to enter into the equation when they consider working with you. But they'll know right away if you're committed to reflecting their truth, and they'll fathom from a place deep inside if wisdom is present and guiding you, right along with them through this significant and joyful process of creating their ceremony, and as a result, deeply acknowledging their rite of passage. Shakespeare says, The fool does think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. What does this mean? For me, the one who knows herself as a fool is free. She's able to embrace what she does not know and sit peacefully in that space without needing to be anywhere else. Simply, she is present, available, and allows inquiry to naturally arise and direct her each and every time. As she opens to inquiry, to the practice of questioning, she becomes aware of what she needs to know and what, if anything, she needs to do. She doesn't need to act non-judgmental. She doesn't need to even act at all. She knows the secret is in the question. She's smart enough not to look for the answer. She embraces living into the question, into the mystery of it all. One of the aspects of celebrancy that I delight in and find sacred is its fundamental invitation to each of us to question, to play like a child, and to meet your clients and celebrant practice with beginner's mind. From this place, the answers are not already known. The answers do not even exist. All that matters are the questions. Questions ask one thing of us. They ask us to honor them. We do this by holding them in silence, by allowing them to breathe, by tasting them, by listening deeply. When we listen deeply, our ego is not involved. We connect to a deeper intelligence, our intuition, or as today we call it, our wisdom. Here you drop into a state of presence where your mind is not living in the past or planning for the future. You don't feel like you have to know anything, fix it, figure it out, resolve it. Instead, you're just listening, like you might to your favorite music, a rushing stream, or a bird singing. Albert Einstein said, "The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity." In the spirit of Albert Einstein, and because we're all celebrants, we're going to get up and form a human question mark. We're actually going to become a holy curiosity. So the first couple of rows, or whoever's game, we're just going to form a question mark here. Oh, good luck. Okay, Suzanne said she's going to be the dot. Lots of participants. Hold it, okay. Jack, I'm going to give you a job of ringing the bell. There's the... All right, this is one good-looking question mark. Okay, Jack is going to ring the Tibetan bells 3 times, and they're not Tibetan, they're glass, but they're playing the role of Tibetan bells today. Okay, so now I want you all to realize that you're standing in sacred space. And right now, the sacred space you're standing in, we're engaging in inquiry when we open ourselves up to questioning and to living the question. Right now, you are the question. Silently notice where you're standing in the question mark. Are you in the curve, the straight line, the middle, or the dot? Someone knew they wanted to be in the dot right away. Close your eyes and see how this feels. Now listen to and notice your own question, whatever arises for you. Perhaps it's a question you've been contemplating for some time, maybe even struggling with. Maybe it's a practical question, like did you turn off the lights in your bedroom when you ran out of the house to get here on time? Whatever it is, just allow yourself to feel it and explore it without needing to find the answer. Hold your question with care, without judgment, without a need to grasp. Stand and breathe into your own question. Now listen to these words from Rainer Maria Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet. Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves. Do not seek the answers that cannot be given to you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. In just a moment, Jack is going to ring the Tibetan bells 3 times, and if you feel so inclined, after he rings them, say your question aloud, in unison, all the voices, all the questions, and then let go of your question. Don't look for or need to find the answers in thought. Instead, allow your answers to come to you in whichever way they may choose. Thank you.